Hello, my diamonds and my Teletubbies. It's story time yet again. Choosing porn over your wife. Porn is killing our marriage. My husband uses pornography very, very heavily, like way more than the normal average man. And it's not like I wasn't putting out. I told him, we can do it anytime, anywhere, any place, and however he wants, and he knows that. But still, he rather run to pornography. As things progressed, he started stealing toys from stores, etc., etc. This is what she wrote. It wasn't until he was honest about all this that he stopped the illegal activity. Anyways, we ended up buying a toy, and then she put in parentheses, not that I see anything wrong with them, especially when they're made for couples. So we end up buying a toy, but this was a toy pocket Pussy. He bought a toy pocket. That's too funny, child. Anyway, it makes me feel like I'm not, like I'm not tight enough down there. You know, he had been using it every time before sex or by himself. He's been using his pocket Pussy. Well, after he stopped lying to me and everything, he told me also that he had been having sex with other women outside of the marriage. As if I should be okay with that. Okay. Because he says, I should be okay with that because I needed to accept who he is so he doesn't have to hide all of his behavior. He wants to be able to be honest with me. There's so much more to go with this in ways that it's affected me and our family. We have one son who's 6 years old. But it's so hard for me to even enjoy him now. And when I find out he's done something behind my back or something illegal, nothing is shocking anymore. He got rid of the toy last night. He said what he had been doing was wrong, and he finally sees that it was wrong. But this is a cycle, and it happens like every 2 weeks or every month. Just WTF. She said, what the F? You know what F stands for, Fuck, whatever. But anyway, whatever, honey. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I told her my response was she needs to reevaluate the relationship and she needs to ask herself if this is a healthy and sustainable thing for her. She also needs to set and follow her boundaries. Set some boundaries, sweetheart, by considering what she is and isn't willing to accept in her relationship. If her husband's behavior continues, and as you see, it's every week or every other month, if it continues, it may be time to consider a legal separation or a divorce. Remember, men only understand consequences, punishment, and violence. Now, if his behavior continues and she feels drained, taking a break might be necessary for her well-being, for her to gather her thoughts, for her to regroup. She deserves so much better, and she can do better. I always tell people, JC is always better as far as I'm concerned. She deserves a relationship where she could feel seen, heard, and valued. I always tell the women to reach out to family and friends or a support group for a connection and for some type of guidance. And I also want them to remember that I am just a coach. I'm not a therapist. She doesn't have to go through all of this alone. She can have individual counseling or support groups will help her to address her emotional well-being and help her to navigate the situation more clearly. She has to make up her mind what she wants from a relationship and what are her non-negotiables. Now, if his behavior continues and she stays, I don't know what to tell. That's up to her, Her non-negotiables should be If his behavior continues, that's a deal breaker and she needs to move on. Now, on the other hand, if she plans to be in an open marriage where she's able to sleep with other people as well, then they should set some ground rules. Like you have to wear protection, you can't have strangers in our house, etc., etc. I don't recommend that because I'm a Christian. And I'm one and I'm done. I wouldn't put up with anyone doing behavior like this, but since she wants to continue, I told her, if you plan to just let him cheat and you want to ignore it, that's your choice. But be careful. It might destroy you. If you plan to divorce him and are just getting your ducks in a row, like she's trying to get her money up, then good luck with that. And I'm rooting for you. I know how hard that can be. And I'm very sorry that you're going through this regardless of whatever decision she decides. Excuse me. I told her I hope she finds a solution that brings her peace. Whatever's going to work for her and her situation, that's where she should go. But I don't know how. I don't know what's wrong with my throat. How you could have peace living in a situation like that. I don't understand that. Like I said in my previous video, think about what is the opposite of peace and relaxation. The opposite is stress, drama, misunderstandings, abuse, jealousy, disrespect, constantly fighting, frustration. This is what I'm noticing that's happening in all of these relationships of today, considering there are so many options with these dating apps, with the internet, with these social media. It's just so easy to replace people, and they make cheating so easy. And I keep thinking of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 8, verse 28, verse 38, and verse 40. And it tells you right there that marriage is a lot of trouble. If you get married, you're going to have trouble. And I want people to check that out and notice that it says a lot of trouble. We live in a very imperfect world, and there's a lot of pressure on all sides of us. And the last thing you need is to have somebody who's supposed to have your back and someone who's your partner, and all they're doing is creating more problems for you, more aggravation. So the choice is definitely up to her, and I gave her some ideas on how to handle the situation. But when all is said and done, she has the final say-so and the final decision to make. There you have it, my diamonds and my Teletubbies. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.